What's up, Nation? Welcome to another edition of the Wise Take MLB First Look. I am your host, CK013. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013, and I am representing the Wise Take Nation, the hottest DFS community in the game. And I recommend you do the same. We have ourselves an 8-game slate on Monday. It is August 12th, 2019. And we have Coors on the slate. My initial thoughts when trying to construct a first look cash game team is Brandon McKay is going to be one of, if not the most popular pitchers on the slate. Reason being is that Coors is on the slate, and we have two bad pitchers, Mitch Keller. What's his name? Merrill Kelly. Mitch Keller is pitching, but that's a different conversation. Mitch Kelly and Pete Lambert. So the bats are very expensive. I'm sure that a majority of people are going to want to try to jam in some of these Coors bats, especially like a Blackman or Arenado something. And McKay is going to be used heavily as an SP1 for most I should say, and for some an SP2. Against the Padres, a team people do like to attack. So he's the cash game SP1. The question is who to pair him with, and I think if Coors wasn't on this slate, it'd be an easy one with Greinke, just because he's 10-7 and he's against the White Sox. He hasn't been terrific, but aside from this Colorado start, which was kind of strange that he pitched so poorly, he's had a somewhat consistent floor of something decent. So I would think Greinke would normally be the guy, but he's not great and he's not super safe. So is it worth it for you to go there over getting Coors bats? I think it depends on what else is out there, and to be honest, there's not a ton. Erod against Cleveland, that's a tough matchup. Lucchesi against Tampa, I guess he would make sense, but do you want to pay $10K for Joey Lucchesi? Desclafani is one of my preferred tournament options. I know he, had a couple tough matchups, but I do like him against the Nationals, depending on what national lineup we get, of course. But outside of that, who is it? Mitch Keller is the top prospect, but he's been awful in the majors for the most part. So that's kind of the question is, if people are going to try to play Coors, they're going to have to save money on pitching. Outside of McKay, who is there? Maybe Jose Suarez? Super inconsistent. I don't see how you can play this guy in cash, even against Pittsburgh. Super inconsistent. Very low floor. Don't see any kind of upside or ceiling. So who? I just don't see it. So unless something opens up tomorrow, I think that you do go with Greinke in cash. And you just try to find the right value. That's going to prevent people from getting Coors if people do that. But I'm not seeing the mid-tier guy people go with. Maybe something will open up tomorrow that I'm just not catching. But maybe people decide to play Fetty Wap, right? I don't know. He's also been another one super inconsistent. I don't see it. If I'm playing cash, it's probably Greinke McKay, and I just make that work because I'm looking at the pitchers, and I don't trust any of these dudes in cash. In tournaments, I could risk some of these guys. First of all, in tournaments, you got to make a decision if what you're going to do with the chalky McKay, because he will be chalk. And the way I see it, you either go on chalk, you either go overweight, or basically fade it, underweight. Technically, you don't have to literally fade it and not have any shares, but overweight or underweight. That's the first decision you got to make in McKay, because if you decide to go underweight or fade him completely, it's not fun clicking between these options. I do like Desclafani for tournaments. I could do something like that. But then kind of scrolling through, like, you're chancing like a Mitch Keller, who has looked good in the minors, but has not been unhittable. Like, he's been getting strikeouts, but he hasn't been unhittable. The Angels don't normally strike out a ton. They have been. I would have preferred if this game was in Pittsburgh, because at least you would lose a hitter. Instead, you gain one. So that's not cool. But who? People in tournaments are probably going to play like Guardo, right? Like, did well against Cleveland, did well against Oakland. Against Toronto, who Tanaka just destroyed on Sunday. So I can see people trying that. I can see people trying Jose Suarez, even though. But really, like this is why I'm saying that McKay is going to be this popular. I just don't see the cheap guy that's going to allow people to get cores. Or people will just say, fuck it, and go Greinke and McKay or whatever, and just not play a ton of cores. So it'll be interesting to see what approach people take. As far as bats, cores is the obvious. Problem is affording them. Similar issue with some of these teams, like Boston, I'm sure. And even Houston against these like Alvarez is 5,600. So I wonder, first of all, any value hitter that opens up tomorrow is going to be massive chalk. That's obvious. They always are, but especially on a day like today, because I don't see the cheap guys. Plesac is 9,400 against the Red Sox. So yeah, okay, they did this to fuck with us. Obviously, that's what they did. They did this to fuck with us. They want to see how low we can go, or something. Oh, wow. The Yankees are at home against Baltimore. They're starting to get healthy. Got Glaber back. Got Gary Sanchez back. Let's take a look at their prices. They are also crazy expensive. So it's funny because DraftKings is almost... Well, I spoke a little too soon. Aaron Judge is only 4.4. Glaber's 4.4. Didi's 4.1. So a lot of these guys are cheap. It's Tauchman, LeMahieu, and Urshela who are in the fives. But you could make the Yankees work. The Yankees will probably be one of the more popular stacks, I would think, because they are easier to reach. Assuming that most people are having to pay up for a pitcher with McKay and a Greinke or some sort. If that is the common trend, if that is the popular way to go and Coors ends up being lower owned, then I think the Yankees are going to be the team that has that ownership, because I'm sure they'll have a high implied run total, and it's Baltimore with terrible bullpen. It's not in Baltimore, but it's in Yankee Stadium, which is pretty good also, especially for the Yankees. Leverage is kind of interesting just because of how high owned McKay is going to be. The Padres' leverage is somewhat tempting against a lefty. They do have some lefty mashers, I should say. Manny Machado, who's only 4K. Tatis is expensive. So Renfroe is only 4,500. He's a lefty masher. They traded Franmil the GOAT, and that just deeply, deeply hurt my feelings. But I do think that it's kind of interesting, especially if you have a lot of McKay. If you end up going a lot of McKay, you may want to grab a Padres stack as leverage, just in case, as a hedge. But, yeah, it's a very interesting slate. Erod against Cleveland. That should be like a playoff type atmosphere, except Boston is like really far back. You got to wonder how motivated they are or not. Oh, here we go. I wonder if Brock Stewart ends up as some sort of chalk. Brock Stewart went 4 innings. 64 pitches, put up a 16 against Tampa. This could be how people get cores, or if not for cash games, for tournaments at least, right? Maybe in cash people still pay up, but in tournaments we see a chalky combo of like McKay and Stewart. Does that let us get some of these dudes? 4,600 is pretty good. Rockies are banged up. Their team sucks right now. I'll still play him because it's cores, but I'm just saying. Tapia. They're actually not that terrible. Like Arenado, Blackman, Story, but Murphy's only 4.4. Tapia is only 4.1. So it's not going to be as difficult to get these guys in. What about Arizona? Did they jack up their prices? Arizona, 4,900 for Walker. Marte is 5,500. He's expensive. Dyson is 5,300. That is wild. But most nights when the Arizona Diamondbacks go off, I feel like Dyson's always a part of it. The Castro 5.1. So the D-backs are a little more expensive, it looks like. Escobar is 5.5. So the D-backs are going to be that like team that's like somewhat hard to reach, I think. But you can certainly do it with this combination that we have of McKay and Stewart. Super risk, nuts on thy table. Stewart will be popular in tournaments. Maybe in cash, people still go Greinke, McKay, make it work. But especially because the Rockies are cheap. The Rockies will be the chalk in cash. Like Murphy, some of these cheaper guys with like maybe one of the studs, I think will be a popular combo. But Arizona, where's McKay? 41.25. Yeah, look at that. That's 4 of them. That's just 4 of them. I got room for more. One more. Oh, Escobar, Escobar's got second base eligibility. Sweet, they finally did it. So if you want to do the dirty, you can do the dirty and play all of them. There you go. You can now play Escobar, Lamb, and Walker if you want to, although Lamb has been struggling. Feels like for like 5 years now. More like 2, but feels like 5. Interesting slate. I see the Indians. So like the pricing, if you want to pay up, kind of forces you onto alternative teams. Like in Arizona, Colorado, if you pay it for pitcher, you're going to be more so playing the Colorado side if you want cores. Or you'll be playing teams like the Yankees and like even like the Indians. I think their prices have been reduced. J-Ram is only 4,300. This man has been so hot. I know he went 0 for 9 his last, but man, look at that. Before that, he was just on a tear. And he had it coming because he started off so slow. The Indians are kind of interesting from a price perspective. Like you are getting some value. These guys were all really expensive, and now they're all pretty damn cheap. Franmil the GOAT, 3,200. That's straight up disrespectful, but he's been bad. I know it. Mercado against the lefty, 3,900. He's been really expensive lately. Maybe not. His price dropped a few days ago. Looks like. Looks like the Indians have cooled off a bit. No, they've been doing me good except for yesterday. Anyway, let's look at Houston. Houston's pretty expensive, but not as expensive as they were. You still got some cheap options. Brantley's 4,300. They did lower Correa and those guys' price, but not by much. Interesting slate, guys. All right, that's going to do it for the breakdown portion. We'll have to see which way the public goes, but yeah, it's either going to be Stewart's going to be crazy high owned, or people in cash go Greinke and McKay. But McKay, either way, is going to be popular as all hell. No doubt about that. For more information on the slate, for more analysis, picks, etc., go check us out at whitestick.com. We are rocking out. You can get yourself a day pass for MLB. You can get in for $2.50 for the day. You'll get access to everything but the Slack, but you'll get all the MLB content, the live stream, the cheat sheets, the articles, and see what our guys are actually on after they do their research. This, of course, is my raw first take. It's my real raw first take, but it is raw. So I got to dig in with the nation and see what we can cross tomorrow. But if you want to come rock the slate with us, whitestick.com. Get a day pass, try it out. After that, looking to save yourself some money, get the monthly plan, get in our Slack chat. It's for monthly members or higher. Come rock with us. We also have football season passes going, early owl special. It's early owl NFL 2019 is the promo code. You'll get the NFL season pass, full season for $99. You're saving yourself $50 in the season pass. By the time the first game comes in NFL, the price for the full season will be $149.99. So I advise take advantage of this one right now. Early owl 2019. And you get the NFL season for $99.99. Check it. Sell. All right. Top threes right now. This is pretty ugly. This is not fun. Greinke number 1. Desclafani number 2. Oh, no. I'm going to go Desclafani number 1. I'll go McKay as the chalk, just kind of for now. And I will go with Stewart, I guess, because I like pain and misery. So... top 3 stacks. I'm going to go with Arizona, the D-backs, because I think they're super expensive, and in the lineups that I play Brock Stewart. That'll be a stack that I reach that I'm hoping people don't. In like a pay-up build, say I went like Desclafani and McKay or something like that. I do think that the Yankees, although they should be popular, are interesting. At home against Baltimore bullpen. So Arizona, New York Yankees, and we'll go with the leverage stack maybe, the Padres leverage. Why not? Padres leverage. But again, McKay's in my top 3, so it would be like a 1-1 situation. If you had 2 teams, do 1-1. You get my drift. Dong Watch, who is going deep. So I'll pick a stud. I'm going to go with Eduardo Escobar against Lambert. Could have went Tatis, and that would have been like cheating because that guy's just fucking good. Let's go with Aaron Judge. Yankees come back home. I think he dongs. And then maybe somebody a little cheaper. I got one. He's not that cheap. Actually, Machado's cheaper, but I'm gonna go with Hunter Renfroe, 4,300. Eduardo Escobar, Aaron Judge, Hunter Renfroe. Let's go. That's the Dong Watch. For myself, the entire Wise Take Nation. Watching on YouTube, click the thumbs up and subscribe. Do it. Thumbs up, subscribe. Notifications bell, get notified when we put some out. We got fire content all the time. You don't want to miss it. As always, good luck.
Yes.